Jillian reports that the enemy is getting ready to attack. Gisela points out that they specialize in defense, so their counter will come fast. A cavalry soldier then shouts that the ballistas are fully loaded. Count Cavalli, bleeding and clutching his wound, gives the command to fire. Hundreds of bolts soar through the air, arcing toward Gisela and his majestic horse. Just as the deadly rain is about to strike, Gisela narrows his eyes and draws his sword with determination. Several bolts crash into the raised shields around him.
Those aimed at the three of them, Gisela, Gillian, and Kair, are deflected by their weapons. Others find cover behind shields. They emerge unscathed from the assault. Count Cavaldi stares, shocked by what he has seen. Gisela, mocking, asks, "Is that all you've got?" He turns to his men and commands everyone to fall back to the main position and prepare for the next operation. Claude, beaming, says, "Wow, my lord really picked the perfect time to fight, huh?" "Right, Wendy. They probably didn't stockpile food like we did, so if we just wait this out, it's a guaranteed win." Alfoy, annoyed, says, "Then why did we even bring them along?" Claude replies, "Who cares? Our labor. I mean, the mages used up their energy building the garrison, so let them rest. It's nice to relax in the rear and do nothing for once. Or how about a game with me?" But Alfoy jumps up at once and says, "What's the wager?" Suddenly, Gisela bursts into the tent and says, "Come out." The two are startled. Claude asks, "Hey, are you already back?" But Gisela ignores him and tells Alfoy, "Gather the mages too." Alfoy, exasperated, says, "Damn it." Gisela orders, "From now on, you dig tunnels toward the castle." Alfoy starts to sweat and stammers, "Tunnels." Claude says, "We'd win even by just holding position. Are you really going to bother with that effort?" Gisela answers, "We can't just wait if we want to finish before the Duke's house sends aid to Cavaldi." He looks at their fortress and concludes this war will end faster than you imagine. Count Cavaldi shouts, "Fenris, this insolent brat." He clutches his wound and says he dared to run off while piercing holes in the ears of my noble self. The advisors say against our overwhelming firepower, they would have been helpless. Another says they clearly switched to a delaying tactic knowing we lack food. Count Cavaldi, furious, replies, "You mean they'll wait until we surrender?" But the Duke's house stands behind me. He adds they won't abandon the largest northern iron mine I control, so they'll definitely send aid. We just need to hold out until then. A soldier reports, "Count, it looks like they're digging under us." The Count is surprised. He peers through his monocle, sees them, and says, "Unbelievable. Are they really working out in the open like that?" The advisor says they can't take it from the front, so they're trying to attack underground. Another advisor adds, "Given our castle's foundations, the only place they could surface is near the south gate." Count Cavaldi orders his soldier Jaimon, "Station troops at the south gate. The moment the enemy pops their heads out of the ground, strike them all at once, then open the gates and have the cavalry ready to wipe out the confused Fenris men." The soldier asks, "What about the walls?" Count Cavaldi answers, "What could they do without siege engines? They're mostly infantry and cavalry. A minimal garrison will be enough to hold them." With a look of someone certain of victory, he thinks Baron Fenris, though I was taken by surprise. I will be the one left standing at the end. At night, the scene shifts to the dwarves hauling something on wagons up a hill that overlooks Count Cavaldi's fortress and the Fenris camp. One dwarf says, "The Lord, he told us to haul this thing all the way up here." As they strain to push, another dwarf says, "Without a fire it's hard to even see ahead." Then another asks Galberic, "We built it like the Lord asked, but is it even ready for actual use?" Galberic is doubtful. In a flashback between Gisela and the dwarves we hear, "There's no way what I made wouldn't work. You want to fly in the sky?" Galberic asks, "You didn't happen to find the legendary hot air craft blueprint? Lost technology of the ancient empire, did you?" Gisela asks, "What's that even?" Then he says, "Anyway, after you see this you'll quickly understand what I want to build." They sit near a fire and Gisela stands, drapes a cloth over the flames. Galberic doesn't get what he's doing, and soon the cloth begins to lift as warm air, less dense than the surrounding air, creates upward lift. The dwarves are stunned. Gisela is basically showing them how a hot air balloon works. Galberic asks, "What am I supposed to look at?" Gisela replies, "No. Look at how it's inflated like this. He explains hot air heated by fire rises and fills the inside of the cloth sack. One dwarf says, so what? Maybe there's just a breeze. Galberic replies no, and with a determined look says if it were wind, it would flutter sideways. Why would it swell up? Ghislain smiles and draws a balloon on the ground with a branch. If we made an air bag much larger than this. Galberic snatches the branch and starts drawing himself and says and attached a basket people can ride under that huge sack and make hot air. Then asks Ghislain, but why does this phenomenon happen? Why does hot air rise in the first place? Ghislain answers, I don't know. I accidentally found out while lighting a fire to dry laundry. Galberic says, seriously, how could you see that and come up with this? Then he says, show me the way. Ghislain asks where to. Galberic answers, to your workshop. He is overjoyed and concludes, let's build this thing right away and test it. In the present, Ghislain waits for them on the hill and says, perfect. Galberic, tired, says this is child's play for us dwarfs. Belinda hands him the helmet and says, young master, the mages and knights are all ready. Ghislain replies, good. Belinda, go and prepare too. Alfoy, furious as ever, snaps, you jerk, if it was going to end up like this, why did you tell us to dig tunnels? But he doesn't finish the sentence before a mercenary gives him a mata leo and says, watch your manners. Ghislain ignores him and walks up the hill through his men. He stops at the crest and from above surveys Count Cavaldi's fortress. Ghislain explains to his men, from now on we'll drop right into the middle of the enemy camp. As trained, infiltrate inside the walls and seize the interior, then open the outer gate to call in Gillian's cavalry. That's the core of the operation. But Cavaldi's army is the best armed in the north. Even if they learn mana, they won't be easy to face. Moreover, the enemies we'll fight in the future are far stronger than Cavaldi. If we can't handle a war of this level, we won't have a future. His men look worried, but Ghislain smiles and tells them, but don't worry. We broke through the beastwood that no one had conquered. We turned a hopeless war into a victory. Then he says, I ask you, were our preparations lacking? The soldiers answer no. He asks, are you afraid? They answer, I am not afraid. He puts on his helmet and says, you've grown faster than anyone could imagine. The balloon is ready and Wendy is there to manage the fire that will lift it. The scene moves to the fortress where Count Cavaldi's soldiers watch the situation. While using a monocle, one guard says those guys dug all day, and now they're doing nothing. Another guard answers they probably sleep at night too. Two more guards arrive to relieve them. Then they ask, everything okay? They answer, I don't know how many days it's been. Do they even plan to attack? Phew, finally I can get some sleep. What a hassle because of those guys. While one looks up, he notices something. 7 balloons are coming their way in the sky, and the soldier asks, what is that? Something round is coming this way in the sky. A guard asks, is it a monster? Before they can react, Ghislain descends, and with a single swing of his sword severs one man's arm. He punches another, and he falls to the ground. Ghislain turns and finishes the soldier on the ground, killing him. Then everyone begins to descend. Belinda, Kair, and the others. Ghislain says, I'll take the front line again. He orders everyone kill them all. What a chapter! If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode. Bye.